stuck off the realness, realness. Got you stuck off the realness, realness.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We're live in Bushwick.
Yes, sir. It was Wednesday, February 28th.
Is it?
Yes, sir. That one I know I got right today.
It's February 28th.
Told you so.
It's a fantastic day. I mean,
yes.
The weather's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's supposed to warm up pretty nice, but get colder by the evening. We're not all the way to spring yet. We're getting closer.
This is why I don't understand the Weather Channel or weather.com, because when I checked this morning, it said 44 degrees, but then on the day it said the lowest is 47.
I think they have what they set, and then they initially have the ones that track it sometimes that lower, man. Because we saw the other day, man, when it got real warm that day, my phone said the high was supposed to be 72 and went up to 77, 78. And that's what my phone said. It said throughout the day, we're predicting 72, low 40, 48, 49 by the evening time. But by the time it got through the middle of the day, man, I look at my phone, it says 77, 78 degrees, man. It's like somebody dropped the ball here, but I think it's just they have their forecast, and it's just a forecast prediction. So
yesterday I took the bus to and from here, and I never really paid attention to outside. I always just be on my phone, and there's an insane amount of construction going on in this neighborhood.
There's a ridiculous amount of construction, man. And, it's for the last few years, there's been a lot of I'll say there were a lot of renovations, gutting and rehabbing places, but now there's a lot of actual new constructions, mid-rises, not complete blown high rises, but mid-rise.
The amount of fires in this neighborhood.
We've discussed that, man. We've lived in this neighborhood our entire lives. I'm 31. You'll be 32 in a matter of weeks. I don't want to date you. We're both heading down that path. That's a Saturday, right?
I believe
that is March 3rd. That's it's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
We'll figure something out.
But that day has been reserved already.
Whoops, forgot you're married, man. I did totally forget you're married, man.
She said, if anybody asks me what I'm doing for my birthday, it's reserved.
It's reserved. So, don't be mad at your friends when we're not around, man. We were, I was about to say, let's do something.
The next day we have a
Bud and Roach show. We do, so it will be a celebration. That's a celebration, Charlie McRae.
So we was talking yesterday after we got off the air, and specifically about the weather and the different things that have happened over the past few years.
Yeah.
And especially with the stuff that we've been talking about recently, and my brother's been an advocate for talking about the tsunamis and flash flooding and just preparing for those types of events. And there was a time when we didn't know we had to prepare. We thought that Brooklyn was the one safe place.
Nah,
particularly this neighborhood.
What it is with Brooklyn? We've experienced, it's crazy. We've now, with what we're about to show you guys some amateur footage of, which shouldn't be flagged on YouTube because it is amateur cell phone footage. We've kind of been through everything, but we have lived through aftershocks of an earthquake, or we felt the tremors from that earthquake. So we've essentially Brooklyn, though you would think on the East Coast, we're not on any major fault lines. We have been through hurricanes, blizzards, heat waves.
That one time we saw the Northern Lights.
The Northern Lights, which was crazy hurricane. That's
that Big Rich saw it all the way in Far Rock.
A couple people told us they saw the sky light up different places where we all shouldn't have seen the same thing, just because of the space, and we saw it from a different direction in Big Rich. He was looking over the Atlantic. We were looking towards the city,
and we were live on the air when that happened. We could still
pull mobile. That was scary because I still remember that, man. Cheese was like.
Yeah, everybody was just,
and then you're sitting there like, yo, what's wrong with you? Is it I was looking this way, I was looking forward, you were looking at Cheese, and Cheese was looking this way out the window, and Cheese was just there
stuck. Everybody was scared.
And you're
out
sitting
their
there like,
minds.
yo, what's wrong with you?
Live on the air, and we were live on the air on a phone.
Yeah, we were live on the air on the phone, and you turn around and you're like, what the?
Then you hear Betty in the
saw
back.
We saw Betty. We all saw it. Everybody was like, why is the sky supposed to be, thunderstorming, not turning blue and green and all sorts of amazing colors? It is amazing to see naturally in nature, but in that situation, it scared the jeebus out of me.
It's terrifying.
Do you want to, before we do this, you want to announce the video today?
You want to do the video of the day?
Yeah,
okay. Because we got the, we saw the video right before we came over
Yeah,
here.
man. I want to talk about the video, man.
And Maddie, what did you think? Because you watched it with us. Let's get a shot of Maddie in the bag. The video of the day today is China Vaughn, Run Forest. Of course, submitted through Reverb Nation. The campaign is still active. It's still live. So if you guys want your video featured on the show, got to go on Reverb. Maddie, what do you think of China Vaughn, Run Forest?
I thought the hook was pretty great, and it like kept me engaged the whole time. The editing was really cool. I don't even know how she did it with all those like white lines shooting out from around her body, but
it was great.
It was crazy.
Who animated it was that's crazy. It was
they wrapped the graphics around the person. I'm never gonna understand how that's done.
That's dope, man. That takes talent and skill, man. But the visuals of the video, man, and the song is actually pretty dope, man. I told you, like that song has very hood banger bumper potential, man.
You know, after we get off the air every day and we archive the episode, you know, an email typically it's sent out before we go live on the air. And yesterday the artist actually reached out. It was Skrizzy. He reached out back on IG, and then Josh VFX, he's put out that story and he
tagged us, man.
So we want people to keep interacting with the show.
Yes.
This is there for you guys. So
yes, tune in live. You know, some of you are at work, but it is always archived, man. But we, you can always. But soon you'll be able to chat with us live on air. We'll be able to get the callers. We'll have the soundboard. We have a lot of things coming for you people, man. But
and the video of the day, if you guys like go on the website, it's an actual playlist. Like if you see next to China Vaughn, it says 1 through 8 because we've had 8 video of the day so far doing this show. So once you're on this list, you're going to be on the list indefinitely unless you pull the video down from YouTube. Yeah. These are all your videos. So whenever the video gets played on the website, these views go to your account. So check them out. It's on goodmorningbushwick.com and hotnewmusicvideos.com.
Yes, sir. And before we can get into the weather, man, we kind of swayed away from the fire aspect in the neighborhood, man, because we had one. I mean,
I have the Citizen app.
Yeah, the Citizen app, man. And seeing, man, like there's been a ridiculous, but even, man, like we said, like growing up, we didn't see many fires in the neighborhood. And you would think now it's more technology, it'd be a lot safer. It's just weird fires, just in the weirdest of places. It's not like it's a contained fire; it's whole buildings burning down. You would think at this day and age that'd be something a lot easier suppressed.
But it's buildings that you would assume would be targeted for, what do they call it? Controlled demolition?
I don't want to say controlled
demolition. Trying to get rid of the building.
Just reconstruct it, but just renovation, new owner. But it's like, I think at a certain point, I don't want to be the one to say it's suspicious, but it is suspicious.
Yeah, but a lot of these buildings around here, especially the ones with the railroad apartments,
they're older. They haven't been wired that great. So, there's that aspect to it too, but these things have withstood time right now already and not had these problems when they should have had them. So is it just time catching up and it's inevitable? Quite possibly.
Yeah, but you also got to look at, when the New York Times published that article that, Bushwick was in the top neighborhoods of the world. Now this place became almost a target for people to do these kinds of things.
I mean, it's an investor's,
This is the place that's booming in real estate. So this is where, it's very difficult to get an apartment within a reasonable price range around here.
It's insane, man. It's a dog eat dog world out there.
You got one bedroom, like not even a 1-bedroom apartment, like a bedroom, just a bedroom with a bed for like $1,200.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. And I think landlords, owners have realized, with the dorm style renting, which is a big thing right now, man, like roommates. Like a lot of young professionals, which is sad, which is another conversation that needs to be had, that a lot of young professionals at this day and age can't afford, rent, food, bills. And this is people that have careers.
In order to get a career, to most people in their mind, they have to put themselves in a substantial amount of debt. And as soon as people, there's a lot of people I know that graduated college that they don't even do what they got their degree.
A lot of people, I worked with a lot of people, man, bartenders, servers that have master's degrees, and yet, what are you doing? Some of them went back to school, some of them got into their field, but it's a lot of, I think, and that's the thing that we talk about, with school, man. I'm just sitting there why do I want to go, do another 2 or 4 years, and I don't even like doing this now, man. And this is I can choose to do it. You guys forced me to do these 12 years.
It's like, you see people that go to trade schools and become electricians and car mechanics and stuff like that.
And
that makes sense.
That makes sense, man. And these
You're
guys,
learning a trade.
You're learning a trade, like that's something, like, but learning like all these like it's like one big thing that we talk about, man. Like it's a big thing. We see a lot of people. Oh, I'm going to school for like forensic science, forensic this. Are you really trying to be like? Are you trying to go work for the CIA, the FBI? Like people were going to school for things that seem cool on paper, but are you really going to follow through and go through with it?
Seem cool on TV.
Yeah. I've seen like people go to school and then like just totally a year later, like 4 years in one thing, and a year later they'd be back in school for something else just because they went into that field and hated it.
The biggest mistake that I made in approaching college was the first thing I did was want to go for liberal arts, and that doesn't mean anything. So as soon as I went to school, I was like, all right, I want to take music classes. But like, no, you got to take psychology, you got to take math, you got to take all this other stuff. Why do I need to take that if I just want to learn music? But then when you even go to like music schools, it would take a school like what is it, IAR?
Yeah.
To actually pinpoint what each session would be, and you actually go in there and you learn something. You learn Pro Tools, you learn mixing and mastering and stuff like that.
That's why I like you have to specialize like the audio and engineering schools, the schools that just multimedia stuff for people.
Like
they're gonna
college
that's
so
another
much different
college.
shit.
Higher education's big business. Which essentially it is, man.
And then if you got a bunch of graduates, if you got 100 people graduating with the same degree from the same college, they're going to be chasing the same job. So who out of that 100 is going to get a job? Who out of that 100 is going to be a bartender or be a bouncer?
A server, dude, not even work in that field, just have a degree and be doing something else that's just totally
and what's
not
sad
in
is
that
that most of these people who end up doing those other types of jobs end up making more money
than they would
other types of jobs.
Then they would and stay there and they're happy, man. So and then just but you still have to pay. If you didn't get a scholarship, which a lot of people did, you can only get but so much financial aid. You're accruing a huge amount of debt, man. I think that's nuts, man. I think that's crazy.
The fact that once you start going to college, books become such a huge expense. Why isn't everything digital yet? If we have digital everything
they sell books digitally. Like if you have an iPad, you can get your textbooks on your iPad or your other tablets or what have you. But you still got to pay for them.
I don't understand.
I don't know if they cost as much now that they're digital, but I would guess the publishers are still gonna try to get that money.
If we have,
I think for them, there's no secondhand market now either with those books. So
we have apps for everything, for anything. Any kind of person you are, there's an app that you can scratch whatever itch you have. And with all the financial gain that these colleges are getting, because this is a for-profit, like these people are for-profit, especially private colleges.
They say they're non-profit, but non-profit entities, but they're for-profit. We know that.
So at the end of the day, why not just produce an app that has all the curriculum that you would need to teach in that school? And just easily drag and drop whenever you need to update. It'll send everybody a notification on their phone or a new book is available in the app. That way, kids can actually spend money on housing, on food, on sustaining their life throughout their time in college rather than giving it all to the college up front.
Because then you're not putting them in debt early and behind the 8 ball in life.
And I don't even know what's the specifics on that legislation that was passed. Where you get free college?
It's
now,
not, man. It's like the legislation so crazy. If you were already in school, you're ineligible. So if you already had student loans, student debt, you got to ride that out.
If I took financial aid in the past,
I don't know how that goes for you. If you haven't gone, me not having gone, I'm eligible. Kids in school,
so
high school.
I
don't know how it goes. And then you have to.
7.
You have to finish it. You can't start it and then say, nah, it doesn't work for me. It's nah, it's not like that. Now it becomes, here's your bill. You have to finish school. And then you have to stay in the state. I believe it was for either 6 months or 12 months. You have to work in New York State.
And I went to the same college 3 separate years. And I kind of I
could
faded
never
away each semester.
I've met with college, the advisors a few times, and it's just even older, man. A couple years ago,
never made sense to me.
When I was ready to just jump into the video game design thing, which is something I still want to do. I want to, I have ideas in my head that I think are great, I still haven't seen anyone doing. I'd like to jump on them before I lose the opportunity.
Yeah, but even now, you should just get some Game Salad and
I'm
watch
not sure
tutorials.
if I could use Game Salad to produce what I want. That's how it's a bit complex.
Or it's Unity is the one that's that's the main game engine that is used to produce games like
I have
Call
to-
of Duty and all
I
that.
have to look it up, man.
3D
But
mapping, bro. I've been doing all my research on this.
there's
It's
a
Unity.
I have to look it up. I'm gonna now that you tell me, I'll have time sitting in a barbershop later. So I'm gonna look it up. But I've always wanted to, man. I always wanted to try it. And I was ready, man. You saw me. I was ready to go to I was ready to go to go to school for the video game design. I was gonna go to New York Film Academy, and I thought everything
That's
was
where you was
cool.
gonna go.
Yeah, it was the only thing I could find. And now actually CUNY has it, so I could take advantage of the free tuition if I wanted and do it there. But I wouldn't have the time at this point with everything we do to do it.
This is probably the most complex of all the video game development engines, and this is the pros. But the only problem is look at the price. Look at the price just to use
$25 a month, man.
to use.
But here's the thing I want to ask you. I could use that because the idea I have is mobile, like a mobile based idea, man.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to do a mobile app, Game Salad.
But it's a bit complex, is the thing. We'll talk more about it off air. You'll get it. You I'll talk to you about it when we're done off air. I don't want to spill beans here, man. But it's and how many kids are going to school for things they love, man. And this is something that I see people sharing it now, man. That there's kids, and I see it a lot, and a lot of parents talk about their kids freaking out now over these standardized tests now with the Common Core, how that is learning, man. Like when we were trying to, I told you a couple months ago, trying to help Bella's nephew with his math, man, and we were adults sitting there
watching the Common Core video.
We know the answers, but to give it to them the way they want it. If we, as all of us, adults, able-minded adults who know math, can't figure out how to give you the answer worded and written and completed the way you want, I don't understand how you expect.
They call it the devil's language.
I've seen people say that, man.
It's the devil's language. This is Game Salad right here. This is, it's a complex platform. So there's nothing that you can want to do that you won't be able to do in this, because you can even do 3D, all that stuff. The whole problem is every script needs another script. So if you place a character, we got another pooch.
We got a pooch in here.
We got a new pooch today.
It's a happy looking doggy over there. How are you doing today, Rover?
He just made my day better. Look at that coat. That's a nice coat.
That is a nice coat on that dog over there.
So every script needs to be scripted many sub-levels.
Yeah, sub-levels. You have to keep going. You have to know the scripts. Any little misstep could crash the game.
Anything. So it's gonna take a long time
to iron out, and that's one thing I know, man.
But there was this one guy who downloaded a Game Salad template. He changed a few characters, and then he found a hack to put it on top of the iTunes Apple Store. And
hack?
I don't know how he did it. They caught it too late, because by the time they caught it, he had already made $25,000 off of a template. So
did they have to give the money back?
No, that was his.
Damn.
It was his game. He changed the game, but it was just another game. It was another version of a game that he
essentially stole someone's. I guess you'd say maybe intellectual property, maybe.
It was a template, so it's royalty free. What you got to do is just change the characters,
colors. Okay, I see what he did there. I get what you mean.
So what I'm doing right now with the Tale of Monty is, the comic book is constantly coming out. I'm trying to keep working on it every day, but because the platform that I'm using, that Pixton, you can actually animate the characters, not physically animate them, but I can change their body positions and then screenshot. You can import each frame into Game Salad and have him running in a video game, have him climbing, have him shooting, all this kind of shit. So eventually I'm going to try to, release a app for that. But I want to make a game with y'all too. We need a Bud and Roach game. We need to do a bunch of shit.
We did. Remember what we said? We need to make a game on, bro. And I don't want to say it on air, even though we only found the one in the App Store. And
I know
it was garbage, and it was paid. It was paid, and only had had 50 downloads. I think
the whole hood will be on that.
You can make it freemium, man. That's where you got to go with mobile games, man. Freemium.
Just paid ads.
Yeah, paid ads, man. Not even paid ads, man. Give them I'll admit, I play one game on my phone probably religiously. It's called Animation Throwdown. It deals with the animation domination shows on Fox. It's the characters from Bob's Burgers, American Dad, Family Guy.
How long has this Bob's Burgers been around? Because I
started
watching it.
8th season. right now.
But
And I
when you
wish
and
it would
Maddie
come
were
back
talking
on
in the
air
back,
already, man. It's supposed to be back on air. They haven't had an episode since Valentine's
Maddie
Day.
had said that she used to watch that back in high school.
But you have,
Yeah, I watched that in like 9th.
but Maddie's younger than us.
I keep forgetting Maddie's younger than us.
You have to remember Maddie's younger than us.
I
Yeah,
got
I was in
I-
9th grade.
I got to keep remembering I'm about to be
Yeah.
32.
It's
bro.
like when we talk about South Park, I have to remember I was in elementary school when that came out. I have people that start watching in high school, and they didn't start till like later in the seasons. To me, that's like late South Park. To them, that's
So it's
No.
going to be 14 years since I graduated high school.
I don't want to say that out loud every time I do, bro. 13 years this
14
this
years.
June. 13 years this
Oh
June. It's
my
crazy.
God.
Uh,
I mean, we're in a good position right
we
now.
are, man. It's just it's weird, man, to think back, man. Like when remember when they used to give us an English test, they would ask us the where do you see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years? Where do you see yourself in 20 years with your lives? Here's your project for today. Like, what? I don't know, man. Maybe I have a job I like. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm driving a nice car. Why are you asking me these questions? I can't see into the future. Like,
The funny thing is when other people try to answer that question, Pooch. I thought he was coming on stage. When other people try to answer that question for you, I remember there's one particular ex. It was like my first real girlfriend, I guess you could say, early high school. And we asked each other that question. It was like, where do you see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years? And I told for her, I was like, yeah, you probably be, graduate college with a marketing degree, be a nice executive. And she told me, you probably be living out a van.
damn, that is cold.
That was cold-blooded.
That is harsh. How do you say that to someone with a clear conscience? That is
How do
terrible.
you say that to someone you're with?
With your whip, I can understand. Like if we're on the outs, like I can understand. Like if I did something to you, like if I break your heart, or like you find me cheating, you catch me
She
in
tried
bed
to
with
clean
your
it up
sister.
after too. She was like, no, I mean like playing your guitar out the van, and then
Like you're on the
traveling,
road
and-
traveling, like you're always on the road,
Yeah.
like you'll be like a musician chasing your dream. I didn't mean anything by it, but you don't like following conventions. You don't want to do normal things. You don't like rules.
It's for a while. I've been making music for a long time, so at the time when she first said that, I was like, yeah, I'll probably be up living out the van. I'll probably be
You embrace
touring
the
and all that.
idea.
But then looking back now, all these years later, it's been a while since I released any music. But I just showed you something right before we got on the air.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna name any names because it's beyond that already. But Danny, I want to direct this one to you. There was a point where we had representation. Well, me specifically as a musician. We were assigned to a management company. It was me and my brother Cheese, but before Cheese came on and we were known as Cal and King, I was playing acoustic music as King Roach. So I was one of the artists under this team. But the flip side to that was I was also a former employee of the company. So a lot of things that happened throughout that time, I can look back now and see that things were sabotaged for my music career for the sake of me not leaving the company as an employee. They wanted me to stay on. They wanted me to keep doing websites and graphics and all that for everyone else. This morning, these past few days has been emotional and all that. So this morning, the first thing I did, I jumped and I looked, got on my phone and I looked through Facebook to see if anybody hit me up. I'm answering all my family's messages. And then I find this little thing on the side that says filtered messages. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I click on this thing and it's a message from May 2015. And it was, it looked like a rep from Warner Brothers that was actually doing talent scouting for a venue in Italy. And they had reached out to the management company and requested that me and one of the other artists be flown out there to open for artists like Snoop Dogg for these 2 dates that they had. It was like July 24th and July 29th. I never seen that before. And the first part of the message says that we contacted this person, the manager. We contacted the company at his email, at his personal email and the company email. And we just want to make sure that you get this message. All these years later, it was 2015. What is it? 3 years?
Yeah, about 3 years now.
3 years later, I have to find out that the reason I never even left the country, and the reason I had to kind of walk away from my acoustic music because I didn't think anybody was paying attention, or I just felt like I was wasting time, so I started doing the EDM music. It was just because this one email wasn't acknowledged. Oh, I'm just telling you the story because we don't have a live studio audience right now. No, you didn't do anything.
No,
Right.
sir. You've done everything right for us.
You got to stay on top of your shit. You have to stay on top of your shit.
Yeah.
And on top of everything else, even if you have, let's say, a management email, because when you fill out, profiles on like Reverb Nation or Sonic Bids, they always say booking email, management email, whatever it is. If you have a Gmail account, if it's a Gmail account, go and put a forwarding address. Make sure that whatever goes to that email goes to your personal email as well. Don't just let everything go to one place and depend on somebody else to do this contact for you.
So we learn from our mistakes, right?
You learn.
Absolutely. You have to always be on top of your stuff. And don't believe hype. Believe results. That's it. Because that was just the cherry on top for my morning.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
let's remind people once again, because these are people who are doing it independently, and this is why we have to
do it yourself. Do it yourself.
Video of the day.
DIY.
Run, Forrest, run.
Better run, Forrest, run, Forrest, run.
Very dope video.
Yo, that video was crazy, man. The song is hot, man. Like, I was still like in my head. I'm not gonna lie.
We can't play the video due to copyright reasons. YouTube is a pain in the ass when it comes to that.
Yeah. Twitch isn't that bad. YouTube, though, on the other hand.
Yeah, Twitch is more lenient.
Twitch is like the Wild West, kind
of. Twitch is the underworld.
No, it's crazy.
The underworld of broadcasting.
Because it reminds me of that show you showed me, Mr. GG. Have you heard of this new thing, Zach Morris is trash?
Zach Morris is trash? Isn't Zach Morris the guy from Saved by the Bell?
Yeah.
No,
and I had seen people talk about it online.
Hold on. Did we put in our drink orders? I take a cappuccino.
I'll take a caramel latte, please, sir. Thank you.
Zach Morris is dead?
No, it's trash. And I don't know if it was like a YouTube thing, Funny or Die How, but now it's on Amazon. It's just like 2-3 minute clips. And it takes episodes and shows times that Zach Morris was a real terrible person. Like a undeniable, like a piece of garbage, like a piece of shit. Like really.
From the show?
From the show. They use their own clips. There's one where he makes a girl feel bad about being in a wheelchair. The time he lied about
like a Mr.
Slater.
GG compilation.
Yeah.
Video.
It's like, and it shows you what he did throughout that episode, like to the people, like the time, like he had he had her commit felony, grand theft, crashed the car, she could have ended up paralyzed, and then like people, they were cool at the end, but we never saw them again.
Look at the craftsmanship.
Look at that fantastic work over there. But
ooh, see that? That's a regular Tom Cruise over there.
Saw that. Getting fancy over there.
Got that cocktail swag.
Yeah,
that
man.
3,000-pound machine. You dropped that machine off the Empire State Building. That should have put a hole straight through the earth.
We'll see what's on the other side.
Like a volcano.
But yeah, man.
Volcano.
Zach Morris is trash. Check that out, man. You'll enjoy that. That'll make you laugh. That'll
definitely get flagged if you play it.
Nah, not on air. No, not on air. But no, that'll make you laugh. Like when you have a chance, YouTube it, and you'll see it. I believe it started on YouTube, and then they got like the licensing rights and like.
Shout out to Mr. GG too, man, because Mr. GG opened up a world of opportunity for other people to remix some of our favorite shows. I think somebody needs to do that with Kitchen Nightmares. I think that needs to be next.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay.
Ramsay, man. I don't know. I could never work with Gordon Ramsay, man. Seeing the way he yells at people, man, I'm not sure I could take that too many times before it got physical.
Yeah, but there's one thing to work with him, but I'll go eat at his restaurant.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, I'd eat at his restaurant easily. Without a doubt.
4 Michelin stars.
So
that's unheard of.
Big, yeah.
Do they have anything like Michelin stars for coffee brewers? Is there like a coffee awards?
I don't think so. But there's a Michelin star restaurant in Bushwick.
There is?
Yeah.
There's a Michelin.
It's Italian. It's called Faro. Faro. F-A-R-O.
Michelin star Bushwick.
It's really good.
Faro.
She's been there.
Where is that?
That's Faro right here.
They have some of the only like really good gluten-free pasta.
Gluten-free pasta?
Yes, I'm gluten-free.
Yes. So actually, yesterday we had pizza, and
this is it right here, Faro.
Yeah.
Earth, wheat, and fire. Look at the symbolism. You got to have a Michelin star with this kind of symbolism above.
Look at that. That looks delicious.
I don't know. That's a little too red for me, but
Man,
there was a neighborhood restaurant in Brooklyn, New York, opened May 2015. That's funny. Our focus is on handmade pasta using local grains and utilizing New York farms and farmers to create delectable seasonal American dishes. From whole animal butchery to milling whole grains. That's milling, right?
yeah, Miller.
And utilizing the wood burning oven. Our goal is to highlight the best flavors from the best ingredients. We need to check this place
Yeah, we need
out.
to check that place out. But we had pizza yesterday because
It's on Jefferson.
yeah, because Maddie's gluten free. It was cauliflower based. You couldn't even tell the difference, bro. Like it's nice and crispy. Like it's great pizza.
What exactly is gluten? What was it?
It's
Is it
like
sugar?
it's wheat. It's something to do with wheat, like the way wheat breaks down and something in wheat. And for some people, it really messes them up. Can you explain that better for me, Maddie? Was I right there?
Gluten-free
Yes.
definition.
Gluten is like the substance in wheat that makes it rise. So that's why when you have gluten-free breads, they're like usually much flatter and not as fluffy. Like
Yeah.
But this is why Google is not always your friend, because I typed in gluten-free definition and it says not containing gluten. It's like you really put the nail on the coffin right there. There comes that fantastic beverage. See, now the morning's about to start.
Yeah, baby.
We got to remind people once again, China Vaughn.
No cappuccino.
Look at that.
You get a heart. You don't.
Thank you, sir.
I tried though.
No heart here.
Latte art is on.
We gotta angle that.
Oh yeah. We're angling the cups.
Well, actually, no. We gotta take a second. You know, we gotta do something before we angle the cups. We gotta toast.
Are we toasting
We have
first?
to take a quick.
DIY, baby.
Yes.
To doing it yourself, the DIY lifestyle.
First live.
First
First
live.
live.
You know, we gotta get that.
See
There
that?
we go.
Can we see that?
Can we see that? Let me get
Spill it
that.
while we
Yeah.
toast. Very light.
Right there. Nice.
That's
sip.
good.
That's some good hot caffeinated beverage.
Then angle it right there.
Yeah.
Make sure it's nice.
Get that good. Look at that. Oh, we got that. I feel like that's good.
Oh man,
I feel like we got those on good angles, like good, nice 45-degree angles.
I'm glad that you're becoming a caffeinated beverage drinker. Bro.
But it's one a day. It's one a day. You know, early while we're here, it's a nice little pick me up. I would, I don't want to see what happens if I would drink coffee later at night. Like I'm already a person that's up like late because jobs. Like the jobs I've worked with have been afternoon, evening, night jobs. So I'm afraid that if I drink this, I'd be up till like the next morning if I drink it like in the afternoon, like people do. Like I don't know how people get 3 p.m., 4 p.m. coffees. Like that's crazy.
Look at that shot right there.
Oh, look at that camera work right there.
That's it.
Who's that? Is that you? I think that's you.
No, that's you.
That's me. That's me.
You.
Oh,
That's
that
you.
is me. Yeah, that's the heart.
you.
That was on the first try. I got that angle. Look at that. Oh, Maddie. That's fantastic. Can we get a clap for Maddie back there on that? A live on there. Clap for Maddie for that fantastic camera work back there.
Cafe, New York City. Back when this idea, the concept was just a dream, I thought I'll make the cups. And we're in Brooklyn.
No, that it works though.
It works.
Because once this place becomes a franchise, then
And
Gonna
people
be
need
all
to
over.
people need to realize without Brooklyn, there is no New York City.
facts.
Believe the hype.
You should be the official spokesperson for Brooklyn. You definitely have the
The Brooklyn mentality.
yeah and the look.
Yes, sir, without a doubt.
We'll be back after this.
This coffee is delicious.
I don't really drink coffee. What you come out with? This coffee is an empty cup. That's what you come out the gate with on me, man?
I mean, it is coffee for music people. And
Music for coffee people.
A good coffee will wake you the fuck up in the morning.
You know what else will wake you up in the morning? Good Morning Bushwick, hosted by us two. Bud and
Butter
Roach.
Roach.
I mean, here at First Live.
Where is First Live?
Bushwick, baby. You're killing me, bro. You're killing me right now. Like
Where
First
are we
Live
from?
Bushwick. We're from Bushwick. We are Bushwick.
Pick up your damn cup and pretend you're drinking the coffee.
Here
Do it
at First Live
Do it
Bushwick.
again. Do it again.
You know what else will wake you up in the morning? Good Morning Bushwick.
Good morning.
Right now, we cutting the promo or we live?
No. Where can people go to find out what's happening in Bushwick?
BudandRoach.com and FirstLive.us.
This coffee is delicious.
Yes, it most certainly is. We're back and we're live, and we want to remind you once again that Bud and Roach are live every weekday morning, 10 a.m.
Eastern time, of course.
Eastern Standard Time. Here live at First Live Bushwick,
219 Central Avenue.
Yes. Stop in here and enjoy one of these fantastic hot caffeinated beverages.
And
Get a
cold.
chilled caffeinated beverage if that's what you like. And we don't judge anyone. Beer o'clock is when you say. So if you want to come in and grab one of those or one of these fantastic handcrafted cocktails, we won't judge you. You know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And beer o'clock is when you say. So stop in, 219 Central Avenue, Bushwick, Brooklyn.
I like that.
Yes, sir.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, we were talking. We were talking on air, and before we came on, we said we're gonna show you guys footage. We lived through some things in Bushwick, and we were talking yesterday. And I told Maddie about the tornado, and she thought I was joking until I showed her the footage on YouTube. So a lot of people who lived in Bushwick who were living in Bushwick. This is now gonna be 8 years in September.
8 years.
Wow, I thought it was for some reason I thought it was August, but it's still warm,
It's
humid
close
that
enough.
time. Yeah, but let's bring up the footage, man, because we've lived through a tornado and we were able to find tornado footage on YouTube.
This is Wyckoff Hospital.
This is Wyckoff Hospital. This is what it did to the entrance of Wyckoff Hospital. That's why they had to remodel it.
Everybody was shocked on this shit.
That hospital's a lot better than Woodhall. Yeah.
Yeah, whoever put this video together.
This is the reason this couple with Sandy is why there aren't as many trees as there once were in Maria Hernandez Park. Oh, there we go. Maria Hernandez Park. We got all the trees down. Is that Maria Hernandez or is that Irvin Park? I can't see.
I think that's Maria Hernandez. That looks like Star.
Yeah, that does look like Star. It was bad, man. Up in Ridgewood, Juniper, Metro, around there was bad. The M train, they couldn't even run till the next morning. They had to clear all the tracks with trees. It was insane.
Cars with trees smashed on top.
This is like more of the aftermath. Can we back out of here?
Yeah, actual tornado footage. Tornado hits Brooklyn, destroying Knickerbocker Park. Or is this the actual footage?
That one right there. You could actually see footage of it.
No. Oh,
That's over here somewhere because you can see the townhouses, the housing townhouses.
That's actually hitting us right now as we speak.
yeah, that is so...
I think that was the. You know what? We may have been a lot closer to the funnel cloud than I realized because Maddie asked me did I see it or
Look at
notice
this
it.
person in the street,
the street.
walking with a sign.
This is bonkers, man.
Oh man.
You can't see. You can't see a quarter mile. You can't see more than. You can't see up the block. You can't see across the street. That's
This
how
is when
bad
the
it
apartment
was.
on Hart Street got flooded.
Yeah.
Tornado chases. This guy's locked in his bedroom.
And there was one more really good one I saw, man.
Man, that's crazy.
Right there. This one. To see this, like the supercell, to see from far away. Where it looks.
Where's this Myrtle and that looks like the church.
That looks like that maybe I want to say maybe Flushing. That maybe Flushing or Lorimer. It's one of those two.
Is that it gathering up in the back?
Yeah, that's it gathering up in the back. I saw another really good one. You can see like the supercell from a distance. That's not it. But look how fast it got there. Go back. You can see the change in it. You can see it roll in. Go back a few more seconds. Look how fast it gets there. Look how fast it developed, man. This was scary. This was got like one of the most scary moments I've ever had in my life. It changed that quick, the weather. I think that's Flushing. That's Flushing.
Hit.
Yeah. Look at it. You see it coming in? See how it's coming in over there on the side of the screen? This is one of the most, this is terrifying. Look how fast the weather changed. And we know it's going to get worse in a couple seconds.
And people sitting on the
platform, standing on the platform recording.
Get the hell out the platform.
You can't, look how dark it got. Obscured everything. You lose so much visibility. That's how fast it moved in. It looked like the crowds on the
light
ground.
Right here from the sun?
No, that's that orange light. Look at how quick it obscured everything.
I would not be on the platform. I'd at least go into to the train. Like
I'd go on the stairs. That was a really good one. There's one more.
You say you saw another one too?
Yeah, there's one more that has really good footage of it moving in. Right there, microburst.
That's not the building where the house is, right?
Nah, that's not. I don't know where this is shot at. This is in Brooklyn, though. But look at that. That's over us. You see the cell moving. The wall of the storm moving, man. This is.
And people still don't believe that there's weather modification tools that exist.
There is, man. And I mean, like we say, research it on your own. People, I mean, we want to believe there is. I believe there is. When this, I'll say the government admits to what they did in Vietnam. It was called cloud seeding. And this is something they used to spray iron particles into the clouds. This is on their own records. And it was to flood out valleys to try to, stop major supply routes, trap some of the Viet Cong, some of the,
wow, look at that.
The people or what have you in, certain areas. And that's how they had some of these crazy, ridiculous downpours you hear about during Vietnam and in that era. And this is on their own document. So in the 70s, they had the possibility of doing this. We had Mickey Grant on. Remember when we had Mickey Grant? And he talked about that when he was Special Forces. And when he talked about what they did in Bosnia, when they would do that sometimes, when he served in the Balkans, when they would sometimes do that. And this is what he witnessed to someone in Special Forces. And that's in the 90s. So for people to think that this is like he's saying crazy
the strength of the wind, was it during Sandy that ripped that tree down the block that's been there?
We heard that on the one on Linden when it ripped the stop, when we were on that last beer run, when it ripped the stop sign off right behind us.
There's just a huge tree that's just been a staple on the block.
All the trees we've lost because of it, between this tornado, Sandy and Irene. All the trees we lost.
And there was one time where right in front of the building, all the dirt and grass got flooded out, and then when we had like that
crazy, it was that was maybe a year before that, year or two before that tornado. When we had the crazy, that crazy real bad rainstorm. It was one night, and it rained so bad they said they think the city's drain sewer systems can handle like an inch and a half of rain per hour. And we were getting like 4. We get like 4 inches of rain, and it was a short span. It only rained like that for maybe 4 or 5 hours.
All the dirt and grass in the front of the building
whipped everything out, like
gone.
We were flooded. And the thing about Bushwick, where we lived, the apartment where we lived, we're in the valley. Like you can see it. We're always walking uphill or downhill. When we're walking to Myrtle, Wyckoff, we're uphill. If we're walking this way on Wilson towards this way, uphill. The other way, we're uphill. Like we're in like the middle of we're down right in the middle of the valley. So obviously everything came down, but that was scary, man. Because remember, Drew came banging on the door. He's like, "Yo, we're flooding." Like
there was literally a hole under the concrete. You can walk under the floor, because all the dirt would just disappear,
wiped away. Like in the cops, there was actually a tornado that time too, and they didn't confirm it till a few weeks later. There wasn't that one though. I don't know if we'll be able to find that one. The other one, I don't think there's footage of that, but I remember the fire department when they did finally get around, because people were calling. They didn't get there till like 4 or 5 hours later, and they looked exhausted. They were telling people, man, listen, like we're going to go down here. We got to shut stuff off. Can't use water. You want to take showers? Do it now before we have to shut everything down. They're like, we were just on the other side of Brooklyn, and they got hit worse. They're like, they were telling us, like we're talking to us, like it looked like a tornado. They're like, there were trees down, wires like knocked down. Like it was like that wasn't. Like they said they don't want to confirm it now, but like they confirmed it a few days later. Like they said it was a tornado that time too.
It's just scary shit.
It is, man. We've lived through weather like you wouldn't think you'd experience in Brooklyn, in Bushwick.
Well, let's talk about something a little more uplifting and less frightening. We'd like to go on Bushwick Daily and just see what's happening in the neighborhood, because they're like the go-to source for, I guess, hipster culture.
I guess
new Bushwick culture.
Yeah, I'd say new Bushwick culture, hipster Bushwick culture. They do sometimes cover other stuff, but
and we were wondering how the hell was this gonna pan out. But taste some wonderfully unpronounceable ingredients at a pop-up restaurant in Bushwick this week. How do you pull off a pop-up restaurant?
I don't know, man, but see, here's the thing. We were talking about this before we went on there too, about the Bob's Burgers thing. because they had the Bob's Burgers pop up at in the city during the holidays. And you know me, I'm a big fan of Bob's Burgers. I love the show. And I always say, you know, some of his burgers, and that's what they did, because one of the gags is every episode he makes a different burger of the day, and it's usually a pun on something. And like they were
talking
gonna
about Bob.
Yeah, all his, because he's the burger guy. Like one of the ones they have, like everybody told you, like, baby, you can chive my bar burger, and it's like it's just like they use like he put chives and on the burger, and like he put pickles on the side of the burger, like for wheels. Like it's ridiculous. Like he had one new bacon, which is just like heavy bacon.
Who's the creator? That's not a Seth MacFarlane.
Nah, I can't remember. I want to say, I think it's Lauren. I can't get the name right. Bouchard. But it's I love the show.
Series have more longevity than actual television sitcoms,
because all they do, I mean, it's just voice work. Really, you have animators, you have the animation team clearly, but for the actors, you really just get them in to do some quick voice work. That's 2 days of work.
Yeah, but even so, like even after voice actors die, they can easily be replaced by other voice actors.
They can,
and
but
the characters themselves, because I don't think the same people doing all the Simpson voices.
All the originals that are there, the ones who died, their characters are no more. Like Miss Krabappel, all the characters of the lady who did Miss Krabappel.
They get killed off on the show?
Not killed off, but they get, ceremonious. They don't get killed off like Miss Krabappel, the lady who did Miss Krabappel's voice. She did a couple of voices. I think the only one I'll say they replaced her voices, I think, was Nelson, because she did Nelson's voice too. Nelson Muntz.
But the same guys doing Homer?
Same people still do Homer. Same people, like, cause it's like, did you ever see the Simpsons movie?
That show's been around like 30 years.
30 years. But like, it's the same people, and they're older now. Like, that's why they were like, when Mr. Burns' contract, the guy who did his voice was up, and at his age, he was like, I'll walk, man. Like, I've done this long. And they were like, man, he does some big voices. That's another voice to lose. People were saying, it's like, even at this point, man, like, people know, like, the Simpsons is nearing its time. Like, it's been on this long. Like, it can't stay on forever.
Yeah, but when you sent me an article the other day saying that they were right with
they were right again.
I don't think people will let them stop.
I mean, like, they're not at a certain point. Like, people, like, you can't replace iconic voices. Those are their voices. You can get good impersonators, but you can't get them.
Was it Family Guy that initially got taken off the air, and then the people outcried so much that they brought it
twice?
Back?
Family Guy got canceled twice.
And the people demanded it back. I think the same thing will happen with the Simpsons.
It got a cult following.
Worse.
But there's a difference. The Simpsons cult following has fallen off throughout the years. And even Family Guy's ratings have declined because, I mean, they let go 2 of his shows from Fox. All he has on there right now is Family Guy. They had Family Guy, American Guy, and Cleveland Show. They canceled Cleveland Show. TBS brought American Dad, so that's still going. But,
you just can't lump up the same voices on different cartoons and put them back to back.
Yeah, that's one thing too. He all his voices are and that's another thing. It's only a handful of people that do these voices, like 5 or 6 people that do the voices on his shows.
Did you like the movie Ted?
I love Ted. Ted 1 and 2 were hilarious.
It was good. I just don't like that he keeps using the same voices.
It's his voice, man. That's the thing. You can only do so much with your voice, because it bothered me.
Say that to people like Jay Farrow or Frank Caliendo.
Like, it's just, I mean, like that. Those are his voices. Like, who he is. Like, he has but so many voices he can do. Like it's funny. Like, there's the episode in Family Guy where Peter's at the doctor and the doctor's talking to him. And he says, "Hey, you sound a lot like my dad, Mr. Pewterschmidt." He's like, "I never heard of him." And he's like, "If I do, that'd be real lazy by the people running this show." Like, he's making fun of himself for the fact they're using the same voice for 2 separate characters. I
mean, that's how you got to do it, though.
The fact that
make fun of yourself before people make fun of you.
Yeah, it's like the fact that on American Dad and Family Guy, Joe and Stan, Joe from Family Guy in the wheelchair, and Stan, the dad from American Dad, are the same character model. Just Stan walks.
So we have to, I guess, pay attention to that when we move forward with our animated series or our game or whatever it is. I don't want anyone to kind of have these conversations about any product that we put out on the animation.
It's gonna happen in animation. It happens in animation. Let's look at
because the voices are clearly gonna be me and you and probably
me and you, Cheese. I mean, but we can change our voices. That just takes time. Look at Regina King. You know who Regina King is, the actress, right?
Yeah.
You know whose voices she did in animation?
No.
Huey Freeman and Riley Freeman from the Boondocks. She did both of them.
Ah, the Boondocks.
And that's a female doing two male kids' voices.
There was a lady that does Bart Simpson's voice?
Yeah, it's a lady that does Bart's voice. Yes. Nancy, I want to say Cartwright. I believe her name is Nancy Cartwright.
That sounds about right.
But you look at how long these shows have been around, man. I mean, going back to the Simpsons, man. It's inevitable. The Simpsons that someday it's going to end. It's been on this long, man. The fact that they've never replaced the voices. There's been two people that died that did voices, and they've just let their characters sort of just go off into the sunset. There was one like after the lady who did Miss Krabappel's voice when she died, like they acknowledged it, and they had Bart doing his thing on the chalkboard every day. Is like their Easter egg, their gag every episode is something different. And his, when he was doing it that day, writing his lines were, "We really all miss you, Miss K." And that was a send off. She's never been on the show since. Yeah,
some sad stuff, bro.
Yeah, it is, man. But
we got to remind everybody that this Saturday it's going down
all the way live.
Saturday, March 3rd, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a freestyle jam for musicians, performers, producers, poets, and MCs.
Hosted by the well-dressed villains.
Here at 219 Central Avenue in Bushwick.
Yes. Espresso Negronis. Those were a hit last time, man. Cold brew ice
cubes and espresso Negronis.
You guys need to come, man. You guys need to be here. And make sure you catch that happy hour, man.
I wanted, just before we go off the air, because we only got a few minutes left, I saw a video, and it also made me sad, bro. It was a video, I don't know if it was WWE produced, but it was like, I think it's called Table for Three. And it featured the members of the Nation of Domination. So it was Farouk, it was Godfather, and I think it was D-Lo. And they were all sitting down discussing the Nation of Domination. And then they showed a clip with them walking down the ramp with The Rock. And I felt terrible for all three of them, bro. No, it was Mark Henry, it was Godfather, and it was Farouk. D-Lo wasn't even there.
That's crazy.
That must be a sad thing, bro.
I don't know, man. Like you got to experience all that with him, man. Like you saw someone like go on that meteoric rise. Like could we say when we first saw Rocky Maivia wrestle, like we thought 20 years later
we'd be talking about him running for president?
Yeah. Like, did we really think that there'd be a generation of kids who want to know him as The Rock, who call him Dwayne Johnson?
Wrestling is such a personal passion, I guess, to both of us because we grew up, surrounding ourselves with it. But people don't talk about the sad side of wrestling. Like, if you watch the movie The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, that shows you what most of these guys go through.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most saddest stories when you go and you have to go to these independent events just to, pay $20 to this guy to give him an autograph or to get an autograph and take a picture or something. Like, that's a low point. And when you stood in a stable, and The Rock didn't make the Nation of Domination, he joined. He was probably one of the last members to join.
He was the last one to join, and then, he went
I don't think he was the last one to join. Owen Hart was the last one to join.
I forgot about
Owen Hart joined them for a little while.
Not about that.
Yeah. If you're that close to somebody who became one of the most richest, famous people in the whole goddamn world, in any sport, in any sort of entertainment realm, that's got to weigh heavily on you.
I mean, it's individuals, man. Like he had what it took to get there, man. He had what we call the it factor. Like if you don't have it, there's nothing you can do. You can't force. Like you can't do it. Like there's that. It's called it for a reason. We don't know what it is, but we know the people who have it, and those that don't. The Rock clearly had it out of all 5, 6 of them when they were all in that stable. It is. I think it is just a combination of things. It's a combination of things, personality traits.
It's the ability to make people pay attention to every single thing you do and say. If you walk in a room and you capture everyone's attention and you don't have to say anything, that person's typically got it. If you're the one in the movie that, no, you got it, bro. You definitely got it. You are it. Look at him. With a place like this, yeah, you got it.
You got there's the it factor.
The it factor.
You got the it.
Right.
I think everyone in this room right now has it. I think we've all discovered it differently.
We all do, and that's the sad part about it. Is that when you talk about The Rock saying that he had it, they all had it. That's why they were all on TV.
But
they just didn't play.
You
the
have to
politics,
capitalize
they
on.
didn't
You have to capitalize on it. The Rock knew he struck when the iron was hot. Vince knew what he had in him, and it's not just. I mean, I think The Rock very easily could have ended up the same way someone like Bret Hart did had he run foul of Vince McMahon. And the fact that he still has a good functioning relationship with WWE shows. I mean, I'll say that he played politics. And that I think they knew they had a star bigger than them on their hands. So let's not have this go the way where he runs to WCW or he runs to TNA. Let's make sure we keep this man happy and and let him do what he wants to do.
We're strong advocates for doing it yourself, for taking control of your career, your destiny. And when you look at people like Stone Cold, who wouldn't have been Stone Cold if he didn't cut that promo at the end of the King of the Ring, was in '94, he beat Jake the Snake. That single moment molded his character for the next 40 years because he's still going with this shit. He's still Stone Cold Steve Austin. He'll never be stunning Steve Austin again. He'll never be a Hollywood blonde again. And when you see other wrestlers that had these opportunities, the majority of them blew it. And I don't want to say
because
Scott Hall, but Scott Hall could have been a more iconic figure.
He could have. Look at him as Razor Ramon. Look at how iconic he was as Razor Ramon. Like he was big as Razor Ramon. Like it was
sad, bro.
It is. But when you talk about the it factor, everyone can have it. You don't know you have it. That's why it's no, like I said, no one can, but everyone's it factor is different. There's no, hey, this is it. This is the it factor. Everyone, I think, is a combination of personality traits, habits, what you do, if you're good at it, your drive to do it. I think it's all a combination of things that come in together to make it. It's not one or two things to do. Like you can't. No, there's no seminar. There'd be no self-help book on. All right, here's how you develop it. Like that's like inner core. Like you have to know whether you have it, you want to achieve it, you want to do it, and if you go get it.
But at the same time, it's also the ability. We're going to get it. It's also the ability to overcome any obstacle, because if you look at someone like DDP was a big wrestler, but I don't think he was ever as big a wrestler as he is with his DDP yoga and the amount of people that he's helping and the amount of money he's making.
No, he was. I'll say he was equal. I think he's
because he came in the game.
I think the fact that he's DDP, like what he did, like here's the big thing people forget. Look at what he did, like towards the end of WCW. That was big with Karl Malone, that whole thing on the Tonight Show. Like WWE wasn't doing that. They wasn't thinking of that. You had Iron Mike for a hot second for a quick flash
versus Dennis Rodman and Hogan.
Versus Dennis Rodman and Hogan. DDP and Karl Malone versus Dennis Rodman and Hogan. That was amazing booking. Rodman fits perfect with NWO and Karl Malone with that clean cut, and it fit perfect with that, man. And I think people forget the profile that gave him, and obviously the fact that people knew who he was. But I think with DDP Yoga, obviously that gives him another avenue. And then you have these who you already had, who knew who you were, and now you're doing this, and people are like, wow, like this is wow. And so I think he added to. I don't think he's bigger than he ever was. I think he's who he is, and just added to his profile. Now does this much more.
I just think there's so much opportunity for people out there right now, even in the podcast game. Like this is a TV show. This isn't just a podcast, but podcasts are huge because they don't require a lot.
They don't.
A microphone.
Oh, you use a microphone and computer. Some people doing it off their phones, man. I saw a hookup, man. Somebody used a regular microphone jack and had two headphone jack. I had two like mics, not like this, but like with the stands, with like regular like our mics we use on Mondays to it and recording.
And it's like
it looked like they were using Spreaker. Looking at the phone, it looked like the Spreaker interface.
If you had at one point any type of celebrity status, if people knew you, then you don't have to be one of those guys who keeps going to these conferences, charging people $20 for a picture. Start a podcast, get some advertising money. Like you don't have to wait on the WWE to say, all right, we want you to guys to sit at a table.
That's why, but I think that's where the it factor comes in. You have to. That's where your it factor comes in. People that go out and want to do it alone, off the beaten path, without going there. Like the way The Rock can come and go from WWE as he chooses. Stone Cold doesn't need WWE to survive. There are a lot of acts who need, like when that call comes, hey, we want you to be at Royal Rumble this shit. We're gonna throw you out in 10 seconds, or come make this quick appearance on Legend tonight.
Because Lesnar keeps going back and forth too.
Lesnar's like a part-timer, but he's a headline part-timer.
And now John Cena too, with all the movies that
the movies he's doing. These guys are headline part-timers. But did you hear the brand extensions coming to an end? Like
they're unifying both of the.
They're gonna unify them. Like they'll still like have the separate shows, but they're gonna They said starting after WrestleMania, like there's not gonna be any separate like Raw and like SmackDown rosters.
They need to do it like that because back in the day, it was just a continuous storyline that happened every night with the same, stories and same wrestlers and shit. But at least people got to work. You got to actually see a thing play out.
Having two different like two different companies, like treating like just two different companies is dumb.
So where can people follow you?
They can follow me online at Mr. Taylor. Like I said, one day people are gonna have to spell it all the way out.
You can follow me at I'm King Roach. You can follow us at Bud and Roach Show.
And of course, you can follow First Live at First Live US. And of course, if you're in the neighborhood, if you're in Bushwick, stop in to 219 Central Avenue, First Live Bushwick, and get one of these fantastic either hot or iced caffeinated beverages, man.
Or if it's beer o'clock.
If it's beer o'clock, yes. That's it's beer o'clock when you say. No judgment here.
No judgment. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So we'll be back next. I was just gonna say next week.
No,
we'll be back tomorrow.
I'm
still used to the Bud and Road Show.
Yes, next week. Yes, no. We'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Same time, same place. You guys know where to find us, man.
And it's been another fantastic day.
Yes, have a fantastic rest of your day, Bushwick.
Cheers. And we love you guys.
Love you guys.
The realness, realness. Got you stuck on the realness, realness.